good boy.
Welcome everybody to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. It is Small Biz Monday, and the place has gone to the dogs.
Yep.
I got 17 more puns to utilize and cliches. Hi from Bow Chicka Wow Town. Super cool business.
Thank you.
This guy's named Ziggy.
He is.
He hangs around at
He
Bow.
does. He gets to come to work with me every day.
Every day.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about the business. What do you guys do?
Sure. So Bow Chicka Wow Town is a doggy daycare and dog hotel facility. Primarily we do daycare and dog boarding, but we also have an indoor dog park for those days when Mother Nature does not cooperate. We have some self-wash stations available, so you wanted to bring your pup in for a bath rather than doing, in your own home and you give yourself a bath too and then you have to clean the bathroom. And then we have some training services as well. So
right.
Dog training, we can train your dog, clean your dog, let your dog play, and keep your dog for you safely overnight.
Great. Talk a little bit about, the business of the animals. Let's talk about a little bit about it. Ziggy here is your dog.
He is my dog.
And the affinity that people have for their dogs is just, and all their pets, is just exploding. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
It is.
Talk a little bit about what some of the challenges are and what some of the opportunities are as a business.
Sure. I mean, the challenge is every day is a new day. So
right.
Every day is completely different. We're dealing with living, breathing creatures. So there's no script.
Yeah, right.
So, and they're also people's family members. And that's one thing that our staff is very keenly aware of and in tune with, is that when the dogs are dropped off to us, that's a member of someone's family that's being dropped off. And that's super important for us as well, because we like to treat them as members of our family too.
Before you have a hernia, let's do a drop-off. Hey, Kate, can you take the Ziggy?
All right, bud. You go be a good boy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go.
We got to talk business.
Okay.
Ziggy, you got to have a treat.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility.
There
We've
is.
obviously seen reports of bad episodes and things like that. How do you balance running the business part of it and also managing a lot of different moving parts, family members, etc., within that context?
Sure. So I think a lot of it is managing expectations. So we have very strict eligibility requirements for pets that come into our facility.
Yeah.
So we will do an interview with the dog. We will make sure that the dog is healthy and up to date on all of their vaccinations. So that gives us pretty much like a baseline threshold to be able to start with.
Yeah.
Temperament testing the dogs as well gets us the opportunity, or provides us the opportunity, to get to know their temperament and play style. So we're able to better manage them when they are with us. Really, when they come in for daycare, it's their day. They're there to have fun. So what we want to do is to be able to just enhance their time with us. We want them to go home feeling happier than they were when they first came in.
Great. It was an existing business.
It was.
And when did it start?
So Bow Chicka Wow Town was founded, I believe, in December of 2012. And Elisa, if you're watching, forgive me if I'm off on my dates. And
we'll check Wikipedia.
Sure,
I'm sure
we
it's all in
we
there.
can fact check later.
Right.
And it was started by Elisa and her husband. They had moved to Rhode Island. Her husband was in the Navy, and they had moved here from Japan. They had found that there was no place for their dog to play in the winter.
Right.
So she actually started the business as the indoor dog park.
Gotcha.
And that's how it was started. And then daycare and boarding were added on thereafter.
And when did you take it over?
So myself, and I do have a business partner, we purchased the business in May of 2017. And what we are really striving to do is pick up where Elisa left off on her plans and her goals for the facility, making that a total pet care operation. So with the self-wash, adding the training, we have a small retail shop in our lobby now as well, where we're trying to bring in and facilitate education to our pet parents on quality pet food, good quality pet toys to just stimulate the brain as well for the animals. It's not just they're running around all day going home tired.
Right.
There's a lot more to it.
That would be Bear and I at the dog park yesterday morning at about 8 a.m.
Sure.
And he was exhausted the rest of the day.
Yep.
You don't offer veterinary services.
No, we don't.
But that's obviously a key component, is integrating what you're doing with, folks who have expertise in that area.
Yes.
Is there a referral structure that you communicate with other vets, et cetera?
So we have several vets in the local area that we do work closely with. A lot of our clients go to Hill and Harbor in East Greenwich, Cohasset Animal Hospital, Titan Veterinary Clinic, Hope Veterinary Care, Warwick Animal Hospital. So a lot of the local community vets are where most of our clients go to. We also, on an emergency basis, which we hope to never have to use, but there's Ocean State Veterinary Services as well. They're the 24-hour basis where we would refer to if needed.
They're kind of the Rhode Island hospital
They are. Yeah, they are.
Of the doggy world, but without the strikes, the nurses' strikes.
Right.
Let's talk business for a few minutes. You went and via involvement of Commerce RI was able to get some funding and some expertise through some of their partnerships. Talk a little bit about that process. How was the process? Where did it start and where did it finish?
So the process started at traditional lending institutions in the state of Rhode Island, and we were not successful.
So Mr. Potter at his Pottersville Bank would not give you any funding.
He said no to the dogs.
Hear that, banks?
Yeah. So the business, although it was existing, the numbers were just okay.
Yep.
And we would be considered a startup. So we were very risky to the lenders that we had approached. However, we kept hearing about, and I don't want to say alternative financing, but there's another way.
Yep.
And through that, we were introduced to SEED, which is the Southeastern Economic Development Corporation. Once we were introduced to SEED, honestly, if I'm allowed to say Liz Voss's name,
go to it.
She was just amazing to work with. She guided us through every step of the process and really helped us to get to the point where we're here today.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how long did it take?
So it did take quite some time. Not so much that it was a holdup on their part. There was a lot of back and forth, just normal purchase negotiations. But I think once we really got the ball rolling and we settled on a price for the business and normal, that's what I'm looking for.
Closing and all
Closing,
those, all financing.
Credit checks and all of that. It went fairly quickly.
Yeah, good.
I want to say less than 90 days.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you closed in May, you took over the business May of 17.
Yes.
And you had a business plan and projections and all those things. How are you doing against those?
So, we had this great business plan and we
Right.
had great projections, and I think that was in part what helped SEED to see our vision. Roadblock number one, building permits did not come in as expected. So
Because you were expanding the business physically.
we wanted to do some renovations. We needed to move some things around. We needed to make it more aesthetically pleasing and add a little bit of functionality. And so we had all of our plans. Our architect had done all of our drawings. We went to the city, and I think it was the day we applied for our permit, they were like, oh, the building inspector, he's retiring, and there was no
What town?
replacement. Warwick.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Warwick.
We were held up probably, I think we had projected to have a grand reopening September or October of 2017, and I think that's when we finally got our building permits. So what that actually did was set us back in projections. So we were new, we were learning the business, but we were also falling behind every day in our projections. I will say that, again, SEED was wonderful with checking in with us, and although there was nothing they could do to, speed up our process with the building permits, they were understanding and accommodating of our repayment schedule with them during that process.
Since then, are you on track to hit those milestones that you projected?
So we are on track. We are moving forward. We have not had our grand reopening yet.
When is the big grand
I
reopening?
know.
Because
So,
GoLocal wants to know.
I know. We will be hopefully doing that by the end of this year, if not first quarter of 2019. Reason being, we were somewhat underfunded a little bit on our loan. So that whole summer, last summer, really set us back. So not having the cash flow to put back into the business, which was also part of our plan to be able to have that grand reopening really did set us back. So we've been able to complete probably 60% of the renovations that we've wanted to do. And so now that we are on track and the business is growing and we're seeing new puppy parents and new pet parents every day, which is great, we're just investing the money right back into the business so that we can continue to expand.
And you've been, you know, as an entrepreneur, I know it here, you're sleeping all the time. You sleep late every morning. What do you work, 2-3 days a week, maybe? Things like that. Had you run a business before?
I had not. My background was telecommunications engineering.
Yeah.
And nope, I was on, the other side. Like, I was the individual contributor.
Employee.
I was the employee. I had not run a business before, so this has been a very eye-opening experience.
And how's it been?
It's been a very eye-opening experience.
All right, let's talk about the good parts and the bad parts.
Yep.
And I think this is true. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big your business is. I don't care how much revenue you're doing. It is a 24/7 job. And it's 365, except for that one leap year in which there's the extra day.
They take the day away.
And
or they add an extra day.
That extra day. How's that been? And how's that been in balancing kind of the rest of your life?
So I think at this point in time, I'm starting to find a little bit of balance.
Yeah.
Last summer was a blur, and I really don't remember much of it. Learning the business, getting to know the staff, building the relationships with our clients was 24/7. We are staffed 24/7, so we have overnight staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
When overnight calls out, nobody's dying for that shift, so that would be myself or my partner at the time to go in and fill that. So again, now that we're starting to hit our stride with making good on our projections, where I'm in a much better place, where I'm actually able to say on Sundays I don't have to be there at 6 a.m. and that's fantastic. My husband really appreciates that. Yeah. So
talk about hiring. It's a busy job market. Has that been one of the bigger challenges?
It's a challenge. We started with the existing business. I think there was maybe 8 or 9 employees. We are up to 15 employees now. We've moved some folks up to full-time, and we're kind of promoting from within for the skill sets that they have and things that they've learned. Got some really, really great staff, and I have to say that I wouldn't be here and the business wouldn't be what it is without the staff that we have.
That's great.
But it is challenging. It is not something that you can come in and do day one.
Right.
So our learning curve is steep, and we invest a lot into our new hires because of who we're caring for. And that can be, challenging in itself. School, we've got everybody seems to be doing something else, and that's fantastic. Most of our staff is part-time, but again, the scheduling and the hiring, because it is, the job market. There's a lot of
it's a busy time in the economy. Yeah,
very, very busy.
If there was one thing you could do over from the business standpoint, I'm not saying what room you were going to paint the hotel or which play toys you were going to buy in the first round. If there was one thing that you'd give as advice to other entrepreneurs who are watching this, what would it be?
Wow, that's a really great question. I feel as though you don't know what you don't know. So there was a lot that we didn't know. We had been involved with the business on some level through our nonprofit rescue organization. So we felt as though we knew a lot more.
Right.
And I think that's the thing. You don't know what you don't know. Take the advice from the professionals. Contact your attorney. Yes, they're expensive. Go to your CPA. Yes, they're expensive. But they will ultimately have your back. And they'll be helping you make decisions.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
As we've gotten bigger and stronger, and we use a bunch of different law firms, there's a lot of stuff that comes along, and I'm like, I'm not even going to waste 5 minutes. Kick it over there. Let them handle it. It'll save time and energy in the long run. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's always exciting. We love entrepreneurs at GoLocal. When we started the company, the idea 8 years ago, people thought we were insane. We're going to compete with the Providence Journal. They have a newsroom of 120, and now, 8 years later, they have 12 or 13, 14 news reporters, and we have almost that many now and growing. So
congratulations to you.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
very exciting, and it's a very, there's, the good part and the bad part, as you know, is there's no barriers.
No.
There's no barriers to what you can do, and then there's no excuses, right,
Sure.
when you don't do it.
Yeah,
So
you can't kick it up the chain.
yeah,
because,
there's no-
like, there's
yeah, right.
nothing higher up there.
Right. I hate
You
the
want it-
man. Oh,
yeah,
darn, I
man.
am the man.
Right. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And keep us up to date and let us know about the
I
big.
will. I would love to have you guys down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll bring Bear down for some training.
That would be
He's
fun.
3 years old and he's the sweetest dog, but he could use a little training.
Hey, we all
We're going
could.
to be in touch.
We all could.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'll be back at 4 o'clock. Gary Sass, the Money Man, will be on talking about the new state budget deficit, the governor's race, etc. And then at 4:30, I've got Saul Kaplan, fresh back from his trip to Ireland. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk, how in God's name in the 2018 we could close down a highway without a little innovation to straighten things out. So tune back in at 4 p.m. Thanks everybody for tuning in.